Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
Anthony has played 3 games whilst being on loan at Real Betis. He has been man of the match in all 3 and scored in all 3. I've seen enough! Pull in the £100 million bid! Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I'm joined in the virtual room filled with some Lions. I've got Berth, I've got Chris. It's the original trio. And of course, moments of the weekend, team. Come on.
Yeah, see, again, I'm letting the team down again. 2024 has been a bit boring on the weekends, to be honest with you. Not a lot, really. My friends came around for a few beers on Friday to watch football. We all know how that turned out. But, yeah.
Depends what game. Depends what game.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's a bit of a quiet one, to be honest with you.
I was just going to quickly look. I didn't have a game up from Friday. You could have watched QPR 4, Derby 0, Girona 1, Getafe 2 even.
I much would have preferred watching those games than the one I did watch.
Much better games.
What about you, Chris?
I had quite a quiet one as well. No travelling this weekend. So game on Saturday was called off. Game on Sunday was called off. Yeah, I did go and watch a few games on the that was played on the 3G. It was absolutely freezing. So standing out in the rain for 3 hours, I think I was out for in the rain and the freezing cold, but didn't have to travel.
Dedication.
That's not
Dedication.
Bad. That's it, mate.
You know what? I've got former Blues on the agenda. I've got former Blues. They're my moments of the weekend. We had Scott Parker's Burnley securing another clean sheet. 33 games played, 9 conceded. Wow. I don't care that he played for Spurs. He's still a former Blue. Lampard's Coventry, another W. This time, Sheffield Wednesday, 1 point outside the playoffs now. And yet when he took them over, they were battling relegation. I was like, fuck, this is insane. Same division as well. When I say former Blues, I am going to a sound. Because this happened. There's no commentary on that, so I'm going to go to another one. There's still no commentary on that. What it was Lewis Baker scoring for his own half. Stoke put 3 past Swansea. And I tell you what, it's a bloody good goal.
93rd minute as well.
93rd minute. Absolutely.
Was a good goal.
I'm more annoyed. There's not. I remember one with commentary on, but none of them have it. Oh, well.
And this is why we're the 17th best footballing podcast.
17th best.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off.
That level of professionalism.
Is there any with commentary on? No, none with commentary on.
Lewis Baker, though, is like living proof that talent only gets you so far.
He still scored from the halfway. To be honest, look at.
I mean, he was touted, wasn't he? As like the most talented player. Like people still say it now that he's the most talented player Cobham's ever produced, and he's playing for Stoke.
But he had a lot of injuries, didn't he? He had a lot of injuries and stuff.
Well, his loan list reads Sheffield Wednesday, MK Dons, Vitesse, Borough, Leeds, Reading, Fortuna Dusseldorf, Trabzonspor, Stoke, and then he went on loan Blackburn last season. Or this season he did. And now he's back there. And he's still only 21. Amazing, isn't it? It's amazing what happens with a career. Also, talking of insane goals, Gabriel Cleur for Western Sydney Wanderers against MacArthur in the A-League. That was pretty impressive. And of course, Hulk smash. 35, maybe 40-yard free kick for Atletico Mineiro. Just check it out, listener. Just check it out because it looks about 35 yards. It's insane. And it's a very Hulk thing. Hitting a ball as hard as you bloody can. Put it in the net. Fucking love Hulk. Yeah. I'd still sign him now. I'd still sign that boy now. He's not a boy. He's like 39. But, hey,
he's still younger than Chris, though, isn't he? He's still younger than Chris.
Oh, he's about Thiago Silver age, and yeah, I'd still start him in our team. Right, time to dive into news. Oh, right. Okay, where do I go with this? So, Alfie Gilchrist, he won't play again for Sheffield United after the club signed 4 loan players during January, taking their total up to 6. And of course, the EFL rules permit only 5 per team. And the club's informed Gilchrist that he will no longer be in the squad. Oh, honestly, when I read that, I just thought, you know what? Let's just put Sheffield United on the do not answer list, because in the summer, we loaned Gilchrist to them on the promise of regular minutes. That's what we did. That's why he didn't go to Leeds. He didn't go to other clubs. And they've just gone to football manager here, haven't they? They've signed too many loanees. They've left him out entirely. And if they knew this in January, which they clearly did when they were making these loans, the right move would be to cancel his loan and send him back. Send him back, because I am being honest. I found that unprofessional what they've done, because I would say stick them in the same category as Forest, because just clubs we don't do business with, because he's now going to sit out for the remainder of the season. Pointless.
Yeah,
unfair.
This happens a lot with loans. It probably happens at other clubs as well, but we only see it from like a Chelsea perspective, that we keep loaning out players and then they don't actually play, which ends up harming their development, when the whole idea of a loan is to help their development. I think we should start putting in the loan. I think in all loans, football wide, there should be, you pay us a loan fee at the start. So let's say, I don't know, £1 million. You're paying us £1 million to loan him. If he doesn't make so many appearances, you have to pay us another £1 million. And if he doesn't make you agree on an amount of appearances you should make that season, and if that target isn't hit, then I think they should have to pay you more money, because they've hurt the development of your player.
Unless injury. Because obviously that can't
Unless
be
they get injured, because if it's a Chelsea player, they'd be injured. Yeah. But I mean, if they just get dropped, like, to avoid this situation, now really, I think they should be giving us a greater fee, because there's nothing we can do with that player now.
It just sucks, because he was doing all right for them, but of course they've had a huge injury crisis at the back, and they've basically brought in 4 loanees, and they obviously had 2 loanees in the summer, Gilchrist, and the other one was Raksaki, not the Chelsea one. And so they've just gone, Alfie, look, you're not playing for the rest of the season. It's pointless. He's now got 3 months ish of doing where he's going to not play a competitive game of football, and that sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Berth, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Alfie Gilchrist, to be fair. It's just loan deals are always so much more complicated than normal transfers. I would have, especially with our problems at the back this year, I actually would have just kept Alfie Gilchrist anyway. But that's in hindsight, obviously. But it's always just a mess, especially with younger players. It's just a mess, isn't it, really? And it always, if you get a bad loan at the start of your career, it never looks good, and it's always seemingly on them. And I think that the loan sort of system needs to be a bit more clearer. And I like Chris's point, to be fair. I think it's a real good point. And it's just, I feel sorry for Alfie, because obviously every team he plays for, he works really hard. And obviously he loves Chelsea as well, but it's just, you feel for him. You do feel for him, because I feel like every time I watched him, he played well for Sheffield United.
Yeah, $5 million loan fee. $5 million.
Mad.
Wow.
Mad, isn't it?
It also, though, will stop clubs signing players on loan just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You know, like when Forest did it with Andre Santos.
That was pointless.
And you just think, well, that was absolutely pointless. Like, they signed him on loan, and then they signed like 4 more midfielders within a week. And you thought, well, what was the point of that? But I think if there was a monetary consequence to it, I think clubs would stop doing it.
And I think the thing is as well, like I think Andre Santos, after that loan spell, not as Forest, people were doubting his abilities, which is unfair, really, because it's not on him. Look, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but you just knew straight away that he wasn't favoured, and that's unfair on him, and he wasn't given a fair chance. And there's almost like a stigma towards a bad loan, like Alfie Gilchrist, for instance, hasn't played much recently, and now he's been cut short, and you just feel like, well, you know, what are his talents? Obviously, we all know he's a good player, but you do start to doubt yourself with these players.
And one more bit of news. Well, it's 2 bits of news, actually. This one I put in because it's a great clickbait piece, isn't it? And I did read it. The Sun
Oh, God.
They reported over the weekend that Atletico Madrid are plotting an ambitious summer move for Nicolas Jackson. Could face competition from two unnamed, of course, unnamed Premier League sides. Look, it's a poor source. Let's entertain it a moment. Who are the two? Who are these two? Like Atletico, I can understand why they'd want him. He's, he did well at Villarreal. I get it. He's doing pretty reasonable at us. I want to know who the two unnamed clubs are.
Now, I've read Aston Villa's one of them.
Okay, I could see that.
Which would make sense with the Emery links. Now, I've read them.
It's certainly cheaper, though, to live in the Midlands than it is in London.
Yeah, the other one I've seen, I'm pretty sure, was Spurs. Now, I could be wrong on that.
Oh, he won't do that, surely.
I don't think I don't think players care anymore. It's only sets. I'd say only not Cobham. I'd say academy players care. I don't think.
Yeah.
Outside of, like, obviously, I suppose outside of UK clubs, if you've come from Europe or South America, whatever, I don't think you almost care as much because it's it's like it's I
don't know who else it would be, though, to be honest. And the only other one who I think maybe would be Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd go wild out here and say Forest.
No.
Arsenal? Oh, they need someone.
Yeah, the thing is, you could genuinely make an argument that all of the current top six, could probably do someone like Nicolas Jackson.
Bournemouth? Yeah. They're five. They're five. They're fifth.
Five. Bournemouth five.
Bournemouth are actually, the fact that they're even there is like, what?
But you go through it. Bournemouth, Evan Nelson's injured for a while and now's out for the whole of the season.
Mm-hmm.
City have only just bought Marmoush in, and they've got Haaland, so fair enough, you could probably get rid of them. Liverpool, their striker, I mean, Salah bangs in the goals, but you can't tell me Nunes and someone like that is
Jackson's better than Nunes.
Exactly. Villa, I know it's not top six, but they've obviously had injury problems and they've just sold Duran. So there's a lot of teams. Forest obviously only got Chris Wood, and they want to propel themselves into Europe, especially if it's top six.
I think if Maresca stays, Jackson goes.
Oh, well, we ain't got a striker then. Well, we have Q, but I suppose on that topic, and this is a final piece before we move to topics to reviewing games. The news surrounding fan protests that I must say, not many podcasts are talking about. I won't name them, but I was listening to a fair few Chelsea pods today, and I didn't hear a single mention. So, 25th of February. I'm not advertising this. I'm just simply stating what this is. So it's the 25th of February, 6 p.m. You don't tickets on the gate, but outside the Bovril Gate, Stamford Bridge. And look, we all know what the protests are for because obviously the ownership and everything that's been going on, support directors, etc., etc. Look, I will make my opinion on protests crystal clear. They're worthwhile. I'm not going to knock them, but they've got to mean something. And that means they've got to have a clear goal, not just like shouting into the void. You've got to have an objective here. If you're going, we need a goalkeeper. No, you've got to think of something, bigger than that. They've got to be backed properly because if you've not got enough people on board, it's just a megaphone annoying people, isn't it? You need more. You need an actual, like Spurs yesterday. We all saw the Spurs one, and you go, wow, that's a lot of people. Wow, and they had a clear message. And it's also, you got to keep the focus and not let it just disappear. Because how many times, like Man United have protested a fair few times, but I know it then goes quiet and then it comes back and then it goes quiet. I feel like you have to sort of be consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, I couldn't agree more, to be fair.
I think, personally, I think protests are a waste of time.
Agreed.
I do.
Honestly,
though, they really think getting 2,000 people to stand outside Stamford Bridge with a sign is going to make the owners change their mind. You want to make an impact?
Go on.
You look at Spurs, and you were absolutely right. Look how many people turned up to that Spurs protest, and then they all went into the game.
That's the thing, isn't it? I did.
So Daniel Levy sat there counting the money. And someone's going, oi, Daniel, the Spurs fans are moaning. And he's gone, huh? Oh, are they? That's a shame.
How much did I make? Oh, they were all there. That's the thing, isn't it?
You want to make an impact, don't go.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Right, and this is going to upset probably 90% of the fan base and every single football fan. But chairman and owners and so, it's a business. It is a business at the end of the day. They don't see it as a football club. I think Jamie Redknapp said yesterday about Spurs that Daniel Levy sees Spurs as like, they'll still get NFL games and they'll still get, a Beyonce concert. Yeah. And that's going to bring in so much money for them. But when you really think about it, that, people protesting, that ain't going to matter. That just isn't going to matter to them. And whilst, yes, it is a football club, Beyonce tickets are going to be loads of money, so it's going to make them shit loads of money. NFL games, how popular that is, Mikey, you especially know that. So,
those tickets will sell out instantly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lot of owners now just see it as simply a money-making business, and that's what it is, sadly. That, sometimes you do feel that football almost comes second to these owners and chairmen. So I don't agree with that. Football should always come first at a football club, but that's just how I see it.
Let us know, listener. Let us know. Right, Kingsmeadow corner, because Chelsea, they took on Everton. See, I wrote it down properly. I remembered the team, Everton, and Chelsea won against Everton again. 2-1, same club, same result. The unbeaten train continues. Chris, you weren't there this time, but what were your thoughts on that game?
Well, it was a slog. It was a slog of a game.
Was it sufferball level? Was it?
Do you know what? It was close. I thought the first half was all possession and nothing else. We had all the ball and did absolutely nothing with it. I think over the last few weeks, our forward line's become very static. They don't make a lot of runs. They don't make a lot of movement. Everything is going into people's feet. And I think it's a lot easier for teams to sit players behind the ball and be tight and compact when everyone is facing our own goal. I think that's been one of the, and I think that's why you see such a switch up in our attacking output when the likes of Hamano and Aggie Beaver Jones come on, because they make runs off the ball. That's the main difference. The main difference they bring to the game, and they even did it to this one, was they just make runs off the ball. Beaver Jones especially is always a willing runner, and she's always stretching the opposition. I have absolutely no idea how Macario is still starting games. She literally offers nothing at the moment. Lauren James should have been moved in at the 10. Personally, I think Macario should have been hooked at half time. I think Lauren James should have came into the 10. And then I don't know what's going on with the Brighton situation, why she doesn't seem to be playing at the moment either, or playing very minimal minutes. I think is a bit weird considering she's our top scorer and we needed a goal and she didn't come on, which was a bit weird. But the one thing this team has is when we don't play well, we've still got players who can produce little moments of magic to win your games. And Ramirez and Lauren James did that. That was it. There was the 2 moments of individual quality got us the 3 points, move us 7 points clear again, and the title looks inevitable.
Yeah, you know what? I'll quickly touch on Macario. It's been a fair few games now. She's been poor. And Hamano comes on, steals the show. I just think, look, we now go into a break. She needs a break just to, because playing through the form dip just doesn't seem to work. And that's just not fair on her as a player. Top quality player, great penalty taker. Let her have a break. I think that's very important. And of course,
she's in the USA squad, though, isn't she?
So she's getting no break whatsoever.
So I don't think she's getting a break now.
Oh, you know what? I haven't done this in so long. And I'm excited to press this button. You know what's happening? Lauren James versus Everton. 90 minutes played, 1 goal, 34 passes, but accurate passes, 5 chances created, 64 touches, 2 successful dribbles, 3 passes into final third, 9 recoveries, 1 foul, and what a clutch goal! What a clutch goal! I mean, I was deep into injury time. I was so happy. We just scraped over the line. But again, it's moments of magic win you football matches. And that just shows what an absolute talent Lauren James is.
Yeah. Class is permanent, really. She was a difference maker. And we just, We're inevitable, really, at the moment. We'll always we win like champions, and you just don't see any other outcome come the end of the season, really, do you?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not.
I'd be very surprised. I would be very,
think-
very surprised in a minute.
I think our level of performance though has got to improve for the Man City quadruple.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's a very because
I thought even
yeah.
like especially this game, we was very open defensively.
I've noticed that recently.
And City will punish us more than Everton did.
Yeah.
So we have got to tighten up there. But to be fair, we tend to turn up for big games. So
I can't remember if it was you or Ollie or it might have been Berth that mentioned about that we're just sort of slogging along because we're focused on other competitions now. So it's sort of we're not going fifth gear straight. We're staying in second because look, the WSL's probably ours now. That sort of approach.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that, and I think you'll see that in the switch up in performance in the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you'd like to hope so. You know,
I'm sure it will. It just seems like we can just go up a few gears. Really, it feels like past couple of games in the WSL have gone second and third gear, but there's definitely another couple of levels to go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's time to head for winners and losers.
Right.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Right.
Well,
Can't wait.
First excited.
Yeah.
We headed to Brighton to take on Brighton. Somewhere in a dimly lit room, Enzo Maresca stares at the ceiling, haunted by the spectral presence of Karu Matoma. The Japanese wizard has tormented Chelsea twice in 7 days, and this time his touch was silkier than a billionaire's bedsheets, setting Brighton on course for a 3-0 win. Chelsea, meanwhile, had all the attacking threat of a deflated bouncy castle. Cole Palmer, forced into a false nine role, looked about as comfortable as a cat in a bathtub, while the rest of the squad seemed to be mentally planning their summer holidays. Brighton, they smelt blood. Yankuba Minter feasted, and by half-time, Maresca was already contemplating his next motivational speech. The second half, more of the same. Levi Colwill channeled his inner Sunday League defender, gifting Brighton another goal, and the Seagulls nearly turned it into a full-blown Valentine's Day massacre. The away end was emptying faster than Chelsea's transfer budget, and when the final whistle blew, one thing was clear. This performance wouldn't even get them into the Conference League, let alone the Champions League. Maresca said the team needs to stick together, but based on this, they might want to stick together somewhere else. Oh no, Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. And we kick off with the winners. We always do it. Who have you got? How many have you got?
I've got 2. Again, they're shit winners, but I've got 2.
Okay.
I've got 1.
Wow, 1. Okay. You know what? I've got 3. I've got 3 because I told you, listener.
Wow.
I told you, listener. I told you I would not let you down. I was bringing my quirky self back. I'm a happy boy, and I'm going to tell you why.
Hold on, Beth. I reckon we can make a bet now that there's not a single Chelsea player in this winners list.
If there is, I'm going to call it now. If there is, he hasn't
One
played.
who didn't play.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a surprise drugs test in the mail. That's basically what's threatened my way. Okay, so my first winner. First winner. All of us. I mean that. I'm being completely serious, and I shouldn't laugh when I say that. Look, we're all winners because we get to do this podcast together. I'm dead serious. 5 incredible years, countless episodes, and somehow we still haven't been cancelled or kicked off the airways. And through it all, look, this show has been a rock for me. It's helped me through some dark times. Recording each episode is a genuine highlight of my week. And I know it means just as much to you two, to Ollie, who's obviously not here today, the listener. I know it means a lot to the listener. And if you're still here as well after watching that game on Friday, you're built different, listener. So thank you. And, we keep it honest on this show. And after a game like Friday's, frustration is natural. I get it. And I totally get it. But I say, don't let it consume you for too long, because football is passion. It is a passion, but it's not everything. What really matters is that I look at it as the community that we've all built, and the laughs we share, and the love for the game that brings us together. And that Discord is something I'm so bloody proud of. And I just wanted to give us a little pick-me-up, I did. And that is why that's my first winner. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really nice. Yeah, no,
That's
big up,
possibly
Mikey,
possibly the best winner we've ever had.
Yeah.
All of us were all winners. Chris, who's your one winner, though?
Nicholas Jackson.
He was actually one of mine as well.
Yeah. I
How
don't
the-
think
what?
like Nicholas Jackson, because these 2 games against Brighton have been his 2 best games for Chelsea because people have realised how important he is.
Yep.
Oh, right. Okay. It took me a minute. I was like, he didn't play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the games you don't play can be your best games. And our attack without Jackson looks like a blunt pencil. Pointless.
Oh, man. Oh, dear. Oh, bloody hell. Berth, who's your first winner?
So yeah, I mean, I had Nicholas Jackson as well because
Second winner.
Well, yeah, literally the same reasons, Chris. To be fair, my second winner was league table.
Oh,
Now, I've said league table because we're still in a relatively healthy position considering how shit we have been for a while now. So, you know, whilst we are shit at the minute, we're still like, 2-3 points off fourth. So thankfully, like
1 point.
See, that's what I mean. 1 point off fourth, and we're like, you know, we're in a bit of a crisis. So it could be worse. It could be Man U or Spurs. So yeah,
It still blows my mind that Everton are joint first in form in the last 5 games with Liverpool and Arsenal. I was like, what the fuck happened there?
Davey boys.
How the fuck? I'm not even joking. I didn't realise how bloody good form they've been in. It's insane. Right, my second winner, and I guess I'm running out my winners. I've got the João Felix compilation. Technically a Chelsea player, Chris. Technically. And this is because someone put together all of João Felix's quotes whenever he signs for a new club.
Oh, brilliant.
wow.
I've got him. Honestly, Felix deserves an Oscar for best adapted loyalty. So I've got January 2023 when he signs for us on loan. I'm happy here. The club is so big. It is amazing. Oh, that's nice. June 2023, so same year, Barcelona's loan. My plan is clear. I love Barcelona and I want to stay. That's quite nice. Yeah. August 2023. So this is just 2 months after the June comment, you know. Chelsea's permanent move. It's a chance for me to find a home. There is no better place for me than to be at Chelsea. Okay, maybe he's happy. This year, last month, January 2024, Milan. I've joined AC Milan on loan, but if there's a chance to stay beyond this season, I'd be so happy. He's like he's treating football clubs like a holiday resort. Like everywhere he goes, it's the best thing ever. He's like a golden retriever. He's like, I'm just so happy to be here.
To be fair, I've got a bit of sympathy for him because he's not going to come out and go, I actually don't want to be here. I've just been forced to come here. So it's
the way he says he wants to be there long term. Like every move, it's like calm down.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure he wants to be. And if it was me and I kept hopping from club to club, I'd want to make it home for a while, not just 6 months. So I kind of see his logic, but it is quite funny at the same time.
Yeah, it is funny.
And my final winner is it's me. Yes. Look, I'm a winner because I'm on annual leave all week long. No alarms, no emails, just me, baking, some gym, and just chill vibes, man. Look, I've finally learned how to pronounce Colwill's first name. I did some. Like Ollie said, if only there was a video. I watched it. It's Levi. There you go, like the jeans. And then that took me down a rabbit hole in which I found out that. Well, went on their website and it's their jeans cost. Well, they cost about £52, but the majority were around like £100. So for American listeners, that's $90 and $126. I just found that fucking wild. I just paid £10 from Primark and they last me ages. I mean, I before then I used to buy criminal damage jeans and they were around £25 and they'd always just split in the crotch area after 6 months. So I was like,
nice.
Yeah. Wow. There's a future segment, things you can get for better value than a £25 pair of jeans. Oh, you know what? We'll go to losers. And funnily I said Colwill's name because I've got Levi Colwill.
Yeah, he's on mine. He's on mine.
Look, I promise you, I didn't want to put a single player on my losers list today. I mean that because I felt singling out one person would be ignoring the bigger real problem. And then Friday night happened. I watched back the highlights and I thought, Colwill, you're begging to be on it. You're begging me. You were like, Mike, put me on it. Please, please. I mean, it's throwing the mini tantrum on the floor. That's what got him on it. I mean, arms flailing, demanding a free kick. It was never coming. Never coming. You got to get up. You got to get up, man. You got to sprint back. You got to stop that counter. You stayed down. Brighton waltzed on through. They scored. And then I just thought at the time, I was like, you know what the worst part is? This ain't the first time he's done that.
What
And
I'll
He's
ask you,
always on the
Mikey,
floor.
what I will ask you, Mikey, and you, Chris, actually, when was the last good game that Levi Colwill played?
I don't know. I can't remember. And that's because
Oh, that is a good question. The fact that we can't remember it off the top of our head suggests it was a long time ago.
I've been saying for a while now that Levi Colwill, or Levi Colwill, is our most overrated player, and I still stand by that. And nothing has changed my mind in the past 6 months or so.
No, he's definitely overrated. If he wasn't English and academy product, people would be calling for him to be sold.
Yep.
I mean, every time you watch him though, he gets bullied, and he's physically dominated on the ball. I mean, bloody, he's softer than fresh morning snow. Look, you can't have that from a starting centre back. You just can't do it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting him to be like the Hulk, the Rock in defence, but you can't be bullied by some of the players. Matoma bullied you off the ball. Matoma is not a big, strong guy. He's very agile. He's very quick. He's very talented. But you shouldn't be a one-on-one duel. You should be winning that for me.
You know what's funny, Mikey? I haven't seen snow in a while either. So,
well, what's going to happen first? A dusting of snow in the UK or Colwill to put in a good performance? We don't know.
I'm hoping Levi Colwill.
Well, we hope so. Chris, you didn't have Levi Colwill on your list. Who did you have?
I didn't. Jorgensen.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you the horn for that. No.
He's not great, is he?
Oh, fuck off. You know nothing.
So he's came in and he's come into the team, and the person who set the bar that he's got to reach was Robert Sanchez. So the bar was broken and thrown away. So there was no bar.
Oh, no.
And he still managed to not reach it. The Matoma goal is an absolutely unbelievable first touch.
Oh, it's insane.
But the shot shouldn't go in. I think almost every other keeper in the league saves that.
Do you think Sanchez saves that?
I think Sanchez saves it.
Oh, come on.
That's how bad it is.
Oh.
I don't. He went down too slow. The ball is literally right under his hand, and he just doesn't get a strong enough touch on it. It's like he wasn't ready for Matoma to shoot, but I don't know what he thought he was going to do.
In training, the ball gets passed sideways, doesn't it, a lot?
I don't think he was great on the third goal either. Beat at the near post. Flailing about in the second goal. That was the sort of one. The second goal was the one where I don't think he was as to blame as other people. But the third goal, again, he's come inside and he's beat you through your body. If he just stood up, he would have saved it. He tried to make a save and let it in. I think when you come in, and this was the problem I had with Maresca saying he's our Premier League keeper now. Don't say it. Just let him earn it. Because at the minute, I would say after that game, I don't think you could argue with Sanchez going back in. And that's how bad it's got now. Those are our two goalkeepers. We've got Sanchez and someone who is like very marginally better than Sanchez in some things and just as shit in others. And then to top it all off, he passed the ball straight to their striker in the 90th minute. And I thought, fucking hell, it's like he wants to get Sanchez back in the team.
I mean, the other two options, you got Bettinelli and Lucas Lucas Bergstrom.
I'd be tempted to put Bettinelli in at this point.
But I'd put I like Bergstrom because he is Finnish. And the best part about Lucas is he's 6'9".
Yeah, he's massive.
I love that. I love that fact. I was like, what a big player. Wow.
See, he saves it as well.
I don't know if I think he plays a lot for the youth team. I don't know. How old is he? That's 22. Oh dear. He's not. How's he playing in the youth team at 22? Okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever about that. You know what? I know what I'm going to go for my second loser today. Oh, I feel like a broken record at this point because standards and mentality is my second loser. I'll just keep saying it until Chelsea fix me. It's as simple as that. The standard is the standard. I keep saying it. Chelsea used to be mean being competitive, used to mean winning trophies, refusing to accept second best. And on Friday night, I watched a team that I said it. They looked like they had one foot in a beefer and the other in a duty-free shop. They were checked out. The passports were in their hand. The duty-free bags were swinging and not a care in the world. John Obi Mikel was talking about that with more swear words today. I mean, from the first minute to the final whistle, dear God, I just didn't see it. And then at the end, two players. I counted Reece James and I saw Madueke. He looked like it was a very cold night, so that's probably why. But I mean, oh my word. They were the only ones that bothered to acknowledge the away fans. The rest had to, everyone was everyone, was dragged, obviously, when they were wearing big coats. But they were like, oh, they went over in the end. That was because Willy Caballero made them go over. I mean, that's embarrassing, man. It just shows that I've got to say it looks like you don't care.
That sums up one of the main problems for me. That's how you can see that a team's got no leaders in it.
Yeah.
And no one that's used to being at a big club who understands where the standards should be. The fact that it was Caballero really sums it up. He's used to being at big clubs. He's used to winning things. He knows what the standard looks like. He knows what you do after you play poor in away games, that you still go and acknowledge the fans. Not a single person on the pitch, though, carries those standards. And this comes from the fact that our senior players, they ain't won nothing.
No.
You got our captain Reece James. He's won a Champions League, but was he a major player in that team? I'd argue probably wasn't top 5 most important performers in that Champions League campaign. So he was there. He's part of it, but he's not a major part. I could argue that I think Ben Chilwell was probably more important to that Champions League run than Reece James was. And then outside of that, Enzo Fernandez, again, he's got a World Cup. Again, he was there, but weren't really a leader of it. They probably would have won it if he weren't there.
He did get the Golden Boy Award, didn't they, in that?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, don't get me started on those awards. And then our other senior players are like Tosin. He was at Fulham. It's not the same. The standards there are not the same. You can go and lose 3-0 to Brighton at Fulham and no one will bat an eyelid. The Fulham fans will be annoyed for about an hour and then everyone moves on. It's not the same. And this is what happens when you have young players being led by young players being led by an inexperienced manager. Because the manager should have been the person stood by the tunnel, making sure not a single player went down that tunnel before they went and clapped the away fans. That should come from the top. The manager is the one who sets the standard. And unfortunately, I don't think Maresca is setting the standard in this team.
Yeah, you know what? You just can't. Look, I know you could argue, but it was cold, and I mean, the standards. I'll say that standards. Well, 90 minutes were played, 0 shots on target. 2 games we've had against Brighton in a week. We've conceded 5 times, 1 shot on target in 180 minutes.
Do you remember when we lost the title away at Arsenal? And Mourinho went over to the fans and was telling all the fans to keep their chin up and was making sure they still supported the players. That's a manager who sets a standard.
Yeah.
Because that was. You mean wasn't that against Man United?
No,
it was Arsenal away at the Emirates. We drew.
But we lost it to Man United, didn't we?
We lost
that's
to
what
Man United.
I was going to say.
Arsenal. They don't.
They don't do that. No, but that's the thing. And then obviously what do we do? You saying that we went on and won in the FA Cup. So you could say, we kept the heads up. But the thing is, that's the thing. We don't have that standard now, and that sucks. I'm not saying Maresca can't do it, but you kind of have to instill that straight away because if you suddenly just start going, well, I think that's what's the problem, isn't it? We went from top four is the target, top four, top four. Look, we're not in a title race, and you're like, oh, careful. Oh, and now it's like, well, top four is not the target. I'm like, the way you're talking the team down to a point where they're going to start thinking, if we get eight floods, that's a good season. It's not in Chelsea.
Yeah.
No way is it acceptable.
Also, like from a player's point of view, like I don't know whether you'd feel the same, Berth, but even at Sunday League level, if we was second in the league, 4 points off the top, and the manager kept saying, "We're not going for the league, we're just trying to finish top six."
Yeah,
I'd start thinking he thinks we're shit.
Yeah.
You make a point though. It's true, isn't it?
It's so true. And me and Chris, I'm sure we've both been in a situation where our teams have been going for top spot, and your manager comes up to you and goes, we probably shouldn't be here, but like, well, why shouldn't we be here? Like, we deserve to be here. We're good enough to be here. So why can we not sustain this? Why? What's going through Nottingham Forest head? Because they're third at the minute, and yes, I know they lost to Bournemouth, and they just lost to Fulham, but they're still there. They're still winning. They're still putting up a fight. And I'm sure each and every one of their players and the manager believes that they're good enough and they should be there. It just feels like we've lost all belief, and that comes from the manager.
I haven't heard Nuno come out at any point this season and say top four isn't our aim. We're overachieving. We'd be happy to finish. We'd be happy to finish top six.
Yeah.
When asked about it, he just says we're enjoying the ride and we'll see where we are in May. That's what you say.
Yeah, that's
what you say.
That's right. Chris, second loser.
I've got Enzo Maresca.
Well, you have to, haven't you? I don't have him.
Well,
but...
yeah, I don't have him, but you can't deny it.
For everything I just said, but also for sitting in a press conference 24 hours before kickoff, saying we need to find solutions, and then putting out almost the identical team as the one that got beat by the same team the week before. He changed nothing. He literally changed nothing except he pushed Palmer a little bit higher and dropped in Kunku a little bit deeper, and that didn't work. So I don't even know what the thought process there was. But outside of that, he changed nothing from the previous defeat. He changed nothing during the game. And then he come out and he continued to talk afterwards again. And I just wish he'd shut up.
Yeah. You know what? I pulled up. I was waiting to see if someone mentioned Maresca, because someone had said about what would Roman Abramovich have done. But hang on, I just want to say this. When these managers were sacked, so Di Matteo was sacked, 15 points in his last 9. AVB got sacked, 12 points in his last 9. Lampard got sacked, first spell, 10 points in his last 9. Maresca has 9 points in his last 9 games.
No, the thing is, right,
I was like, bloody hell.
I'm not saying be Maresca out, but
neither am I. I'm just stating the fact.
I think it would still be a bit harsh to sack him now, but it's not looking good because, like I said, though, we've got no belief in that team. He's not changed anything. The fans gravitate to people that have belief and gravitate to changes and reactiveness, and he was doing that at first start of the season. And I think Chris mentioned it yesterday or the day before about Frank Lampard, and people say what they want about Frank Lampard, but he actually did a very, very, very good job with young players in his first season. He had no right to finish fourth in that first season, and at no point did I ever record him saying in that season, "Oh, we've got a transfer ban. This is a project."
Yeah, you're right.
Watch where we are in 4 or 5 years' time. He was all about now. These players are good enough. I'm good enough. We're gonna, do this and that. We beat Arsenal away. We beat Spurs away. At no point did I ever think these players don't believe in themselves. This team, it just seems like they don't believe that they're going to win a game when we concede, and I think that does generally come from the manager.
People keep saying, because I hear it a lot, that Maresca's not the biggest problem at the club, and he's probably not the biggest problem at the club, but he's the easiest and quickest one to change. Because I know people keep saying about, sack the sporting directors, but you wouldn't see anything from that until the summer. That wouldn't affect the rest of our season because they can't sign anyone now anyway. So even if you brought in a sporting director who wanted to sign experienced world-class players, they can't do it till July. So That's pointless. It's not going to have an effect on the rest of our season. He's the easiest one to change. And people keep saying, well, I don't think another manager would come in and, another manager wouldn't change it because they're working with the same players. Look at Everton.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I think Maresca now has just sort of experienced what you see with every fresh new manager that comes to the league. You get the honeymoon period where you surprise a few people with like, oh, what? And then everyone knows what you're doing, and that's it. It's done. And I think I said this before. Maresca carried that Leicester team just over the line because of what they did in the early season, and then everyone figured them out, and then it was just like, let's just get this over the line, guys. Look, if the reason I don't advocate for Maresca out is because I have no confidence that the board will make anyone better, will bring anyone in that's better. And that's depressing. That I shouldn't have to say that.
I've said that for the last sort of 3 weeks. That my issue with sacking Maresca is I don't trust who they would put in charge.
No, because you I've seen on Discord, it's a running joke on Twitter as well, Roberto Mancini. And I understand that logic. It won't be Mancini, it'll be some project manager. That's what's going to annoy people. I don't know who it will be, but it's not the point.
It'll 100% be Areola from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Calling it now. It'll be him.
Berth, who's your second loser then?
Jadon Sancho.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've actually backed Jadon Sancho for the most part, but I've never seen a player that's so frustrating all my life than on Friday night, because he'd get the ball, look good, do a few step overs, and then do nothing with the ball and pass it back.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, where's the Jadon Sancho from when he first started at Chelsea? Like, it's like he's lost belief again now, and he's not helping himself with like what he does on social media and stuff like that. It's like, it's really frustrating because there's something in there. Same with a lot of our players, to be honest. There's something in there, but for whatever reason, it's not happening. And when he gets a ball, I don't expect him to do something, and that's a real concern because I don't. Other than Cole Palmer, and even he's been quite recently, I don't look at any of these players and go, they're going to win us a game.
No.
Well, it's really interesting what you touched on there. That where's the Sancho gone that we had when we first got him? First few games especially, he looked exciting, was beating players. He's been coached.
Yeah.
He's been coached and got worse.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
that's the biggest red flag, isn't it, against Maresca? That too many of these players now are going backwards.
The thing is, and this is just modern day football. It's not just Maresca, none of our players. You take Cole Palmer, for instance. He was brilliant. He was magic last year because Pochettino just went, just do whatever you want. Yeah. Do whatever you want, be a maverick. This year, other than the start of this season, it's up until about December, he now looks like he's coached and he's a sort of a system player now, which is not what you want from Cole Palmer. Sancho's exactly the same. If you just let him do what he wants, he'd probably be an unbelievable player. Jack Grealish at City's the same. I think Phil Foden would be the same. I think Phil Foden would be brilliant if you just let him do what he wants. But because football these days is so overanalyzed and overcomplicated that players are just almost wasted. You wouldn't see Maradona or Pelé or Johan Cruyff or Ronaldinho, for instance, having to track back and do like this and that and like
good luck with that.
Left out on the left. You'd want them to just don't get me wrong. Sancho isn't that level, nowhere near that level, but you get the point I'm trying to make. That Maresca's just overcomplicated with these players. Like they're brilliant to watch when you just let them do what they want. And I know you've got to have some sort of system in place and some sort of tactical nous, but Palmer especially, just let him off the chain. You don't need to.
Hard to defend a coach who's got, I would argue, zero from Sancho, Neto, even Felix in Kunku, and to a degree Madueke. Like a decent coach, even if some of those players you might not go, but they're not elite. That don't matter. A decent coach gets out. Look at David Moyes at Everton. He's not. I'm not saying that he is this great messiah of a coach. However, he's getting a lot out of that team that Sean Dyche didn't. Yeah. The manager's important. And
of course it is.
And on that, my final loser is just the entire ownership structure. I was lazy. Look, Clear Lake, sporting directors, Maresca, look, all of them are failing. They're failing at their job right now. And I'll keep this short and bitter. Maresca, yeah, I got it wrong. He's another yes man project puppet. The sporting directors, you've had 4 transfer windows, £1.5 billion spent. What do we have to show for it? We've got a bloated squad full of potential and no actual results. This Clear Lake master plan of ripping up the squad and handing out decade-long contracts to unproven kids has backfired spectacularly. Long-term deals, yes, they're great when players deserve them, but instead we're stuck with a squad of mid-table talent who don't seem to care. They're collecting their wages as they're legally allowed to, and if they wanted to, they could coast their way to retirement. Well done. Well, what a great collective result we've done. And that's so annoying. You know, I've heard this bullshit about Palmer's release clause. I've not heard anything that's actually from an actual reliable source about that. But the thing is, if Palmer wanted to just go, you know what, chuck it in, I'm going to sit here for 9 years and earn my money, he could. He could.
Yeah.
Because 9 years, you probably pay it guaranteed.
But you know what I think is really stupid of the sporting directors? They keep, although I don't agree with the transfer policy, I can see a method behind it. I understand what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong, and I don't think it'll work. But I can at least see where they're coming from. But whose fucking stupid idea was it to want to sign a load of young players with potential who are going to grow and get better and learn and develop, and they're going to grow as a team as well as individuals all together? So eventually they'll be like a super team is the idea. But who thought the best person to lead that though will keep putting in charge inexperienced mid-table managers? That's where they've really shot themselves in the foot. It's like buying a Formula One car and then getting a toddler to drive it. It'd be pointless. I don't understand their thought process, and I actually think, although the squad has got so many problems with it, we know that from the goalkeeper to the lack of centre backs of quality, and too many of our wingers are average and don't get the output that we need, and the lack of midfield depth. The squad has a lot of problems, but I still think an experienced, good level coach gets so much more out of these players, and they don't even have to be like elite. Like they only have to be, you know, your David Moyes, those sort of level. Because Poch did it last season. 1 defeat in our last 14 games. 1. We lost 1 game in 14. He was doing it. He was getting a lot out of this squad. Well, you could argue a worse squad than we've got now. And then the board went, nah, sack him. We want this guy in instead. Who's now getting nothing out of the squad. So it's not just the fact that the sporting directors haven't brought enough quality players. They haven't put someone in charge who can actually get the best out of the tap that they have brought.
Yeah. I can't disagree.
Yeah.
Chris, who's your final loser then?
Cole Palmer. 5 games without a goal.
Yeah.
My biggest advocate for sacking Maresca is to save Cole Palmer, because Berth was absolutely right in what he said a minute ago. Cole Palmer now looks like a coached footballer who has lost all his creativity, all his individualism, all his ability to change a game by doing something out the ordinary. He just does ordinary things now. He receives the ball in the half space, he takes a touch out of his feet, and he'll try that curled one towards the back post. And if he can't do that, he'll pass it sideways or he'll pass it backwards. When was the last time you seen Cole Palmer dribble?
You know, you've got a point, and what's depressing is a fact. I'm prepared today. Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka have the same amount of goal contributions in the league for the past month, and Bukayo Saka's last game was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
And again, it's not even slander on Palmer, because we all know he's. I'm I'm almost saying that he's a loser because of somebody else, not him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to literally about to say as well, like Chris isn't saying here, it's on Cole Palmer. It's the system and how we play that's affecting Cole Palmer. We all know how good Cole Palmer is, and it just looks like now that he's almost, the shackles are on him, and he's just trying so hard to get out and escape it, and he can't.
It worries me that Cole Palmer 23-24 might be the best version we ever see him at Chelsea.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, though. You still take 14 goals and like 9 assists, whatever he's got so far this season. But it is worry because he is our main man. And if he don't perform, then we've got no chance because no one else to do it.
Nope.
Pochettino got slagged off last year by a large section of the fan base, especially the online presence of Chelsea fans, for just telling the forwards, when we get the ball to you, you can do what you want. And they said, well, that's not coaching. Well, it is. It's actually really intelligent coaching, because what he's saying there is these players are good enough. They don't need to tell me to tell them what to do. When you've got someone like Cole Palmer, you don't need to tell him how to play football. He knows. Conte did it with Hazard. Mourinho did it with Hazard. Both of those managers, who, let's face it, are very pragmatic managers who like everyone to fit into the system and do their job. Even those two turned round about Hazard and said, you just have to let him play. You just have to tell him, go play. We'll set the rest of the team up around you. You just go and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because they're good enough to win your games. Cole Palmer is that good. He is that good that you should just put him on the pitch and say, you just play today. Don't you worry about anything else. All of these lot will do everything else that I need them to do. You just go and play. But for some reason, Pep does it at City with, Grealish, and I think Berth's right about Foden as well. Try and make them system players. And Maresca's done it now with Palmer, and it will ruin Palmer. Palmer will become Grealish if this manager stays.
Look, at the end of the day, for me, and this isn't being negative, I'm trying to see it realistically. Poch finished last season with 63 points. He got to the final of the League Cup and the semi-finals of the FA Cup. If Maresca's Chelsea, well, they won't definitely not get into the semi-finals or the, winning getting into the final of the League Cup, are they? So that's not going to happen. If we were to not finish in the top 5, because it is 5 spots that get you Champions League, I would say we've regressed. And to regress when we sacked Poch because this isn't going the right way, that again, it's the point. You look at the ownership, you go, that's embarrassing. You've wasted a year.
With a better, more experienced squad as well.
Exactly. Berth, who's your final loser?
My final loser, and I'm surprised no one has actually said him yet, Nkunku.
Did he play?
Yeah.
Well, might as well not have, to be honest with you.
He was there.
And
that was nice.
That sums it up, Mikey. Like, I didn't see him do anything.
No, I can't remember a thing.
I like Nkunku. There's not a player that I dislike really in this team other than Colwill. It's pissing me off at the minute. But I like Nkunku. I think he's a very good finisher. He's not at number 9 though. And it just didn't work. The Palmer and Nkunku thing didn't work, and we just missed Jackson so much. And I think Nkunku, from when he did get on the ball, didn't do a lot. Faded into the game, and there's too many times in the Premier League this season when I've seen Nkunku play where he has just been non-existent, and that's the problem. And when we're looking for goals, you need an outlet, you need someone to stretch the play. He doesn't do that. He's neat and tidy on the ball, don't get me wrong, but he won't do what Jackson does. He won't roll players. He'll get on the ball and then number 10 and then pass it off. That's what Nkunku does. It's just, I don't see him ever scoring more than 10 goals in the Prem.
Do you know what's really depressing? You know what's depressing?
Yeah.
I have just quickly done this because I was curious. That's his 4th game in a row where he hasn't had a shot.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's awful.
So just for context, that's 90 minutes against Brighton, 29 against West Ham, 29 against Man City.
And again, right.
Oh dear.
Again, a lot of people slag off Nicolas Jackson that he misses chances. And he does. He does miss a lot of easy chances. But he's there. I'd much rather a striker miss 100 chances in a game than someone that doesn't create or have a shot.
I can't believe that. 4 games without a shot.
What's the point of being on the pitch if you're a striker?
That's why I didn't see him. That's why I didn't know he was playing. That's mad. Bloody hell.
That's bad. Yeah, that is bad.
Emoji games then. Emoji game review. I went with same game, same result. So I same emoji. Shrug. Yeah. Used to it now.
I've just gone for the middle finger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the skull because watching us is like a slow death at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least you're happy today.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I think we did all right.
Positive.
I think
Yeah.
overall, though, it would help. Have I muted the tab? I don't know.
Number 17 out of 100 we are. 17 out of 100.
Yeah.
Top 20 podcast for this sort of thing. But
It's all about the professionalism, mate.
I can't get my soundboard to work at all. That's annoying.
We are so well produced.
Computer order.
Anyway, let's go to the game.
Shared. I hadn't got it shared, so now if I play it, it probably will play. Where was it? There we go.
Congratulations for being shit. Well done for being shit, and well done for being shit.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can't believe I did. I kept pressing them. I've put in a poor show in there. Didn't even click share on the audio.
We're involved in that.
Yeah, that's true. I apologise there, listener. So I do have a quick
overreaction. You think
for Monday, but it's fuck all to do with Chelsea because Champions League's this week. Eight ties. Only two teams who are losing on aggregate for me. Two teams who are losing on aggregate will qualify, and I'm going to name them: Milan, Atalanta, and I'm going to say, because that's not really an overreaction, I'm going to say they're going to win by at least 2 goals. That's like a prediction, not really a reaction. But I wanted to just put it in because let's talk about the Champions League whilst we can.
Why not?
You know what that means, don't you? We're going to look at the line of the week. I am not giving anyone's getting this week. I'm not having it. That's another. That is our second week in a row where we cannot award. You know what? In 5 weeks now, we've awarded one winner once, and it was the wheel. So, Chris, you had Nkunku, I had Enzo, Ollie had Pedro Neto, the wheel had Cucurella.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
and I would argue that all 4 of them wasn't just crap; they was absolutely shit.
Yes,
I could name 11 that were like that.
No winners there.
That's fair.
No winners there, and we're not giving a line of the week award because no winners. No winners there. Questions. We had a lot of questions. You may imagine we had a lot. I've got 3 screenshots of pages. Josh, do you think Maresca will be our manager 1 year from now? No. I'm bold. I'm going. No,
I doubt it. He's bold as well, but I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it.
Chris?
Yes, I think he will be. Not by anyone's choice except the people who make the decision.
Yeah. Daniel, since we are going to be garbage for the foreseeable future, what team should we cheer for? Whoever's playing one of our players on loan.
Support the women. Support the women.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Answer.
Great.
Honestly,
answer,
I keep literally. We do not. If you haven't, been watching much of the women's side of the game, that's fine, listener. But start, because I tell you, you watch a team, not individuals, a team with not just talent, not just passion, but that connection that they all want to do well as a collective, and they play bloody good football at that. And I tell you what, I always enjoy, even if it's sufferboard, I still can look and I can see the picture. I can see what the aim is. And that is something. I love that. I absolutely love it. And plus you get Lauren James delivering in the clutch moments. Oh, you can't disagree there. Daniel again, is there any reason Maresca should be the manager next week? Of course, got a 5-year deal. Come on, he's not going to.
I still think it would be harsh to sack him, but time's running out until I start thinking time to go.
Another Maresca one from McClund. Is Maresca actually developing any of these developmental players? Chris, you're the best one for this.
No.
Correct.
Well, look,
to be fair,
unless you mean developing him backwards.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, he's definitely
that would be regression. You don't want to regress. We don't want that.
But that's what they're all doing.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. I was going to quickly check Twitter because let's have a look. Because I'm pretty sure I had questions on there. See, this is live. It's not. No, don't edit stuff out. Oh, here we are. Pod questions 10. Bloody hell. Should he be sacked immediately? Ooh.
Nah.
Set pieces and lack of. This is from Nanzinho. Set pieces and lack of conversion. When will we hold the hires from Brentford accountable? I gave him a winner list once. Bloody hell, I'd forgot about that guy.
I never, ever, ever think we're going to score from a corner or a free kick.
Oh, no.
Ever. And every single set piece that we've got against us, I always think we're going to concede.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I go one step further. Every time we get a corner, I think the opposition are going to score.
Yeah.
That's how bad we are at corners.
Bloody hell. Right, we'll wrap up the show with our end of show game, guessing the player by their career path. And today's theme is Valentine's Day. Last Friday was Valentine's Day. So today I've got 5. Yes, 5 who all celebrate their birthdays on this day. That's why I put 5 in, because I thought some might be quite easily guessed. And by celebrate their birthday, I mean they were born on this day, not just they've chose that day to celebrate it, just being precise. So, first player started their career at Rosario Central before moving to Benfica. They then make the move to Real Madrid.
I got it.
Oh, Chris, who is it?
Angel Di Maria.
Yeah.
He did. He goes to Man United, PSG, Juventus, and he's still playing damn well at Benfica again. Right, second player started their career at Scunthorpe United. Don't think we've ever mentioned that team.
Burf's got it.
Burf's got it.
Imagine.
He takes
Massive
a
Scunthorpe
big step up now. Goes to Liverpool. Bloody hell.
fan. Wow.
That is a big step up.
Then heads to the Bundesliga to play for Hamburg. Before thinking, I'm going to come back to the Premier League and play for Southampton. They then make a move to Newcastle United and finish their career at Blacktown City.
What was the German club
Jeez.
again? Sorry.
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
So Liverpool
Liverpool to
Scunthorpe,
Hamburg.
Liverpool, Hamburg, Newcastle,
Southampton.
and then Blacktown.
I will
I've never heard of them.
narrow it down. They won the Ballon d'Or.
What?
They've won the
Sorry.
Ballon d'Or. It's that very big trophy that's a soccer ball, and it's
What?
gold, and everyone goes, "Oh, look, it's the best player in the world."
Was it
It's
Liverpool?
gonna be an
Newcastle?
old player, isn't it? It's gonna be a really old
Well,
player.
if I told you they started their career in 1968,
Oh no.
it's not that hard. I'm being
Is it?
serious.
I'll take a guess.
Yeah,
Is it Ian Rush?
it's not, because
Oh,
their managerial career. I'll give you that. Newcastle, Fulham, England, Man City, Newcastle.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time, please?
Newcastle, Fulham, England, managed the big job. Man City, Newcastle.
Oh no,
Luke?
he didn't manage
Oh,
England.
Oh, hold on. Is it? It's not Kevin Keegan, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there
Kevin
we go.
Keegan.
Kevin Keegan.
Next player started their career at Ajax, and then they made a very silly decision and went to Spurs. Oh, what are you doing? They then sensible.
Is it?
Oh, go on.
Oh,
I was just taking a guess here. No, I don't want to. No.
They go from Spurs to Inter Milan before going.
no, you said Brentford. Then no, it's not. I think it is.
Brentford, and then made a move to Man United.
Oh, actually, yeah, I've got it. It's Christian Eriksen.
14th of December, Valentine's Day, yes. Next player up started their career at Danubio, or Danubio, I don't know. They then moved to Palermo before joining Napoli on loan. And they thought, I like this place, I'm going there permanently. They then moved from Napoli to PSG. They then made a move to Man United.
Oh, got it. I think.
Go on, Buff.
Is it Edson Cavani?
Edison Cavani, who goes to Valencia and then currently at Boca Juniors.
This is
So
my game.
final player
This
started
is
their
my
career
game.
at Auxerre B. So where did they move, team?
Auxerre.
Auxerre. And then They were like, I like the letter A, so I'm going to Arsenal. And then they decided they don't like the letter A anymore, and they went to Man City. This is all permanent moves. And then they realised, you know what? I'm going to go back to the start of the alphabet and go to Benevento before finishing their career at Montreal Impact. So Auxerre, Arsenal, City, Benevento, Montreal Impact.
I'm torn between two players here.
I'm going to go for it. I don't think it's right. I definitely don't think it's right, but I'm going to go for it.
Oh,
It's Sammy Nasri.
it's not. That would be Marseille.
No, I think it's a fullback.
It is.
I know
It is.
it is. I know it
And
is.
I'm torn between the two.
Very good fullback as well.
Did he have cool hair?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, I know it is.
Is it Sagna?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Two-time PFA Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Team of the Year.
Under-
Team of the Year,
underrated,
not
by
player.
the way.
I wasn't sure if it was him or Gail Clichy.
Oh, you know what? They were both in the same Team of the Year for Arsenal. That was a year.
Mad that, innit?
Just here's the
Wow.
team name: Torres, Adebayor, Ashley Young, Cesc, Gerrard, Ronaldo, Clichy, Vidic, Ferdinand, Sanya, James, David.
That team, by the way, walks the Premier League now.
David James at Portsmouth level. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was good then.
It was.
Well,
Yeah,
as good as
Torres at
David James
Liverpool.
ever was.
What about this team? For the one when he did it, obviously, the second time in 2010-11, Van der Sar, Sanya, Vidic, Company, Ashley Cole, Nani, Nasri, Wiltshire, Bale, Tevez, Berbatov. Yeah, it probably does again. It probably does again.
Yeah.
That could go unbeaten in this Premier League.
The problem
Whoa.
is, though, will that team stay fit? And I don't think there's anyone in that
that
team.
was
who
Wiltshire's
really...
best. Depressingly,
Yeah,
that was
that's true.
Wiltshire's best season before he got injured. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because obviously
Wow.
you've got Van der Sar, amazing. You've got injury prone Wiltshire, Bale, bit injury prone. Samir Nasri had an enema, I remember that, and then it went. That was at Sevilla. So there's a fun fact to end on. Anyway,
Wow.
we're at the end of another episode. Thank you for tuning in. We're of course proud to remind you of our partnership with Head in the Game, the mental health charity using football to support wellbeing and community. Check them out, headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well. We'll be back Friday with the Friday show, and we have a bloody good idea for that. Oh, we're going to be spending a lot of money that show. Oh yes. So till then, that is us signing off.
You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.